Hello there, my fellow viewers. Welcome back to the channel and for another episode of the Anime Podcast Show. So, let's kick things off with the first segment, and that would be new interest in anime. It's basically a series was released in between from 2022 to the present day, or it's even I was interested to take a look at during the post-COVID era. In this one, we're taking an approach into a series is so legendary, discussing such as a groundbreaking and influential series of all time, included as one of the most celebrated and impactful anime series in history, as it calls Fist of the North Star. Fist of the North Star is a manga series written by Berenson and illustrated by Tetsuo Harada. It was serialized by Shueisha's Weekly Shonen Jump magazine for over 27 volumes from September 1983 to August 1988. It was adapted into two anime series produced by the legendary studio behind the Dragon Ball, One Piece, Digimon, and Sailor Moon, Toei Animation, in which both series aired on Fuji TV from 1984 to 1988, combining for over 152 episodes. Of course, came as a wide success franchise, included a few movies and a worst anime live-action adaptation ever, OVAs, etc. Speaking about just mentioned, the feature films, the main film came out on March of 1986, produced by the same staff from the anime, but the film is not directly adaptation of the manga, but instead tells an abridged version from the first 72 chapters. However, the film itself retains more violence due to the lack of violence in the original series, so they had more violence in the theatrical cut. However, the box office-wise, it was a massive success, but when it released on home video, they trimmed down the violence into a censored version. Somehow from Toei's vault, they have the original master tapes. Hopefully, one day, we will see that a later day. I'm not really sure. In 2005, TMS Entertainment announces they're producing a Fist of the North Star project to commemorate 25 years of the manga, as it calls Legend of the True Savior, with 3 feature films and 2 OVAs, released in between from 2006 to 2008. Of course, pretty much successful. To be honest, the dub for this, from Sound Cadence, they killed it. The English cast did an amazing job for it. Anyway, if anyone is curious, what was my interest with Fist of the North Star anyway? I was actually interested back in 2019. It was in my anime list, but I couldn't get into it until in 2023. When back in 2022 from Discotek Media announces the dub for Legend of the True Savior, I wasn't expecting of that announcement, so I'd waited patiently for a while. Also, the anniversary was coming up, so I have to do some research more about the franchise. After watching 2 to 3 episodes, to be honest, I'm not really that interested of the old version because it's not that violent enough. And of course, back then they toned it down, so I'm like, I really get it. And of course, there's an English dub for it, but no offense to the cast who dubbed it back then. Well, you guys killed it, but I am sorry, but I'm not really that interested. So yeah. So I decided to wait if there's a remake or should a redub should happen. Who knows? Then, the day of the anniversary came. They announced the remake project. I was like, oh my gosh, finally! They announced it. Then, moving forward to 2024, I'd watched The Legend of the True Savior dub. Holy crap! It blew me away from the voice acting, the characters, emotions throughout the 5-part story. Shout out to everybody who worked on the dub. I know who they are, but I can't name them because it's too much of listing. Nevertheless, it's one of those franchises that's been around for a long time, and fans are getting started to get into it. And that is all my interest with Fist of the North Star. Now, let's move on to the next segment that will be topic of the week. For this episode, I'm taking an approach to something what fans talk about these days as popularity, or popularize. A popularized mainstream before modern franchises, what we have today. Now, the question is, what was the mainstream for anime from the pre-2000s era in Japan? It was a hard decision to make, So here is my top 5 of anime series became a mainstream of the, I would say, pre-2000s era from Japan. So I'll start off with number 5. In the number 5 list, I want to bring this franchise, but it's kind of a franchise, but it's a very short-lived, but it's a very, at the time, it was a spark peak of adult anime for fans outside of Japan. And that would be Cowboy Bebop. Cowboy Bebop, which premiered in 1998, stands out one of the most iconic and influential anime series of the late 1990s, transcending the boundaries of genre and solidifying its place in anime history. With its stylish blend of sci-fi, noir, and Western influences, Cowboy Bebop captivated audiences with its richly developed characters, renowned for its episodic structure, deep philosophical themes, and exploration of loneliness, existence, and a search for meaning. Cowboy Bebop became a defining series of the late 90s, helping to elevate anime to global mainstream and be influenced for future generations of creators. Even today, but today's standards, Cowboy Bebop remains a touchstone of anime that continues to be celebrated for its genre-defying storytelling and unforgettable soundtrack. Now we move on to number 4. In the number 4, I have to give this to, moving on to, like I said, an iconic franchise, and that came around before Cowboy Bebop, Yu-Gi-Oh!, Dragon Ball, and all of that stuff. But I am talking about Gundam, Mobile Suit Gundam, which was aired in 1979, revolutionized the mecha genre, and became a cornerstone of anime culture, setting the stage for a massive success of robot-themed anime for the next few decades that follows. The show's complex characters and exploration of themes such as the horrors of war and the human cost of conflict resonating deeply with audiences. Despite the initial success, Gundam would go on to become a global phenomena spanning numerous sequels, spin-offs, manga adaptations, and model kits. And of course, that becomes a culture phenomena. With its combining of high-stakes drama and influential stories they tell in a profound warfare, Gundam solidified its place as a defining series in anime, influencing countless mecha series and shaping the future of the genre for years to come. Now we move on to number 3. Holy crap. Let's talk about this franchise, what kids of generation got into in between from 1998 to 2011. I call it the golden years, as it calls Pokemon. Or, in Japan they called it Pocket Monsters. Pokemon, which debuted as an anime series in 1997, quickly became a global culture phenomena, revolutioning the world of anime and solidifying its place as one of the most iconic franchises of all time. The show's mix of exciting adventures, memorable characters, and the quest to become the very best, sparking an explosion of merchandising, video games, and feature films. Beyond its captivating storytelling, Pokemon also became a gateway for many young viewers to explore Japanese anime and its cultural impact. Thanks to its blend of humor, friendship, and competition, the franchise's reach expanded far beyond television with like trading card games, toys, and of course, video games I just mentioned, became an essential part of the 90s pop culture. With its enduring popularity, Pokemon remains one of the most successful and beloved anime series of all time, continuing to captivate new generations and influencing the world of anime and gaming for decades. Now we move on to number 2. We are moving on to the shonen genre, as fans knows about it, to the world of Dragon Ball. Dragon Ball, which it first aired in 1986, became one of the most iconic and influential anime series of all time, shaping the landscape of anime throughout the 80s and 90s, inspiring generations of fans worldwide. Dragon Ball revolutionized the shonen genre with its blend of high-energy martial arts battles and colorful characters and themes of perseverance, friendship, and self-improvement. As the series progressed into Dragon Ball Z, it became a global sensation, particularly through its intense, action-packed sagas such as the Frieza, Cell, and the Majin Buu arcs, which introduced epic battles and raised the stakes of high-level characters and energy that we ever seen, and becomes one of the most. I think back in the day they called it a violent anime series of all time on a nationwide television screen that was aired on Toonami back in the day. Dragon Ball is not only a cornerstone of anime in Japan, but also played a significant role in introducing anime to the West, where it gained a massive popularity and fan base and continued to impact global pop culture. With its countless adaptations, movies, and merchandising, Dragon Ball remains a memorable franchise, continuing to inspire new generations and influencing anime to this day. Now we move on to number 1. Finally, I know everyone always knows about this franchise as a mainstream, but I am talking about Lupin the Third. Lupin the Third, which it first premiered in 1971, became one of the most influential and long-running anime series, blending heist action, comedy, and adventure with unforgettable characters and stylish animation. The show's mix of fast-paced action, clever plot lines, and humorous moments made it as favorite as among fans. And with combining of a slapstick humor and obscured situations, set it apart from other anime series at that time, Lupin influence extended beyond the anime world. Over the last, 50 plus years or so, or 40, I'm not really sure. But the series has spawned numerous films, television specials, and video games, solidifying its place that Lupin has a culture icon, and of course, the series' ability to blend adventure with wit, alongside its memorable characters and enduring themes of freedom, loyalty, and crime, has made Lupin III a beloved classic that continues to captivate an audience around the world, and remains one of the most enduring anime franchises of all time in history. So, that is it for the topic of the week segment. Now we move on to the last one to the show, and that will be anime series I got into between from 2017 to 2020. These are the shows I discovered just before the chaos of the pandemic hit. This next series I got into after Fire Force, that will be a series is headed to a scientifical as a post-apocalyptic world in Dr. Stone. To be honest, I can't remember exactly what it drew me to Dr. Stone, but it's just a little blurred in my memory. But I believe it was an announcement by Crunchyroll with its premiere set for July 2019. I saw a lot of ads on YouTube back then between late June of 2019 to early September of that year, but I don't remember. Until I saw the dub announcement that was shown on I think it was a promo. Yeah. It was a promo from Toonami alongside with Fire Force, both as a new series. Around the same time, the English voice actors from Dr. Stone were scheduled to appear at Oz Comic Con in that year. And I love those guys. Caitlin, Sarah, and Aaron. I love those guys. Halfway through the season, I fell in love with it, but by the end of season 1, I couldn't wait for season 2. It was officially announced in December 2019, but it didn't premiere until January 2021. 2 weeks before it aired, however, I lost interest with Dr. Stone because I became more focused on other series from studios like Bang Zoom Entertainment, VSILA, and Sound Cadence. Despite that, I've seen so many updates from Season 3 and Season 4 on social media, and I'm so happy with the show is continuing at the moment. But I'm hoping one day I'm definitely open to come back to watch the series again. So I'll try to start over again, or maybe I'll continue where Season 2 left off for me. So whether that's now or later in life, who in the hell knows? So before I go, I want to share a little funny story, okay? So back in 2020, and another voice actor from the cast of Dr. Stone, and his name is Rico Fajardo. And I met Rico with him, David Matrenga, and Bryce Papenbrook at the Mad Men Anime Festival 2020. This is one of my personal favorite stories. So, in the Saturday weekend, I think it was a Saturday, because I remember I spoke with David and Bryce on Sunday and spoke with Rico on Saturday. Yeah, there you go. Okay, so on the Saturday, when I'm going to do the autograph session with Rico, and then I was in his line, and then next door to us is the cosplay, fans are cosplaying their favorite characters, and they do like a competition. And then two fans were brought up on stage, and then I see them dressing up as the two characters from Dr. Stone. And then I was like near the end of his line. I was like near the far back, and I was watching what's going on next door to us. And then all of a sudden, when the two fans says, "Oh, we're from Dr. Stone," and Rico said, "Oh, hey, I'm from Dr. Stone." And then all of us, from Bryce to David to Rico's lines, we all laughing. I'm going, for fuck's sake, Rico. And then I don't know what happened next after that. He just ran from his booth to somewhere else for 5 minutes. It's like, where's that motherfucker is? I was like, where's Rico? I was like, where is he? It drives me crazy. Like, what the hell is this? What did I just saw just now? Did Rico just left just left his booth or something? I'm going, for God's sake, Rico. So yeah, he came back and I told him, I left your line. I said, "Oh, you're funny, bro." So yeah, I remember chatting with him about Dr. Stone, and I remember, I think I mentioned about Digimon as well back then, because at that time as well, Digimon Last Evolution Kizuna was coming out, and we got the first international screening for it. So I was lucky enough to see that. So anyway, so that is it with my anime series I was interested from 2017 to 2020, and that is it for the podcast as well. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Please comment, like, and check out more content on the YouTube channel, and subscribe if you haven't done it yet. Make sure to hit the notification bell. Take care, stay safe, until next time, peace.